Good afternoon, everyone. And I guess it's playing on my phone too. There we go. We'll turn the volume down. We have Sam with us today. Sam will be going to the background shortly and answering your questions or putting your questions up on screen for me to answer. Sam, how are things in Cleveland, Ohio today?
Cleveland today is sunny and we'll say mild, maybe 50 degrees. So great weather for a change.
Yeah, so no complaints there. Excellent. And we already have people joining us. CISA332, Keith, Mike, Humberto, I saw earlier. So,
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm back in Quebec after a whirlwind tour of the South, Midwest, and upstate New York, I would say, or Western New York. So
Yeah.
we're back in Quebec. We have a lot of garage audits recorded. We're close to 20 recorded. So
Cool.
with more, and I'll be in California at the end of the month. So if you'd like a garage audit and you're somewhere between LA and San Diego, hit me up. We'll be able to get that done for you.
Excellent.
Yeah. And we have the Mr. the Cleaner himself is here. Excellent.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah. So Adam's Garage, Mr. Pinger. So people, we're here to answer your questions. So once you're done saying hello to each other, let's get some questions up.
Excellent. All right.
Oh, what happened there? Okay. Speaking of referral links, if you want to go on the House of Rags and save a little extra 10%, you can use the code DeepDive10. So they've set me up with my own code. There's no commission to me at all, but the whole idea is if you go on DeepDive10, you'll get 10% off at the House of Rags.
Excellent. Let's put that in here.
Yeah. Oh, we have Ivan K from all the way from Austria. Must be late at night there. Pretty close.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty close to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in my Facebook post, I talked about a metanoia. Does anyone know what a metanoia is without referring to Google? Oh, and we have Christy. Good afternoon, Christy.
Yes. 11 o'clock. Oof.
Yeah. Very good. Well, I guess we don't have many questions today. Come on, people. It's a Q&A. There's 30 of you watching. There has to be a question out there. Detailing related, preferably. No politics if we can spare ourselves on that one. But
Yes.
Invested Detailer, first Saturday without rain in a month. That is excellent. Yeah.
Yes.
Here it's pouring rain and cold. It's about 35 degrees and rain. So, yeah. And Christy, what's up with you? What are the temperatures in California at the moment? We'll get there. And Ivan, you said it's 11 p.m. in Austria. What's the temperature like in Austria these days? Oh, there we go. We're starting to get questions. To change one's mind. Yes, Jeff, correct. So what is the best way to clean rubber floors? Got one yesterday and felt like it took longer than carpet. Yeah, it does. I like to use rinseless wash first as my test bed. Then if that doesn't work, Incredible Suds 15-1, or not Incredible Suds, sorry, All Clean 15-1 with the wheel and body brush. You don't actually want too stiff of a brush. High of 80 today. Excellent. Hint on upcoming product releases. Mike, great question. Upcoming product releases, we have a new wash media coming. And it's something on a pole, but we'll leave it at that. Steve Skinner. When using a red jeweling pad to apply ceramic gloss, is it best to use dry pad or damp? For ceramic gloss, I like to use a dry pad. It will eventually get dampened with the ceramic gloss, but you don't need to use a dampened pad. And we'll let Sam go off back into the background. He's a little more comfortable there normally. We'll see him at the end.
Thank you.
So there we go. So Sam is the one putting up your questions, by the way. No, it's not a sponge on a stick. So I went down the rabbit hole of getting a sponge on a stick, but as most of you know, there is one key characteristic of a sponge that makes it work very well with a rinseless wash, and that is being on the verge of dripping. So getting it to be on the verge of dripping was a bit of an issue. And then we have David. Oh, how's the pad washer? Not yet. We're still working on that one, unfortunately. It's a bit of a pain. So, Ivan, I feel many detailers don't believe in the green flag tip brush on their paint panel. What can be done to erase those fears? For them to get one and try it. And if Jamie is still here, he can maybe chime in on this. He had what looked like our green flag tip brush in his shop, and let's just say it wasn't the same thing. So having a proper brush makes a big, big difference. And just because it's green and is somewhat flag tip doesn't mean it's the same thing. If you go to Will's Ride Care, he did a video this week comparing different brushes, and you'll see how we fared there. Middle ground between a Fendo and cheap sander for applying the app. Any recommendations? I haven't found a middle ground yet. There's actually those 6-inch wax applicators that they're battery operated. They use a little 12-volt battery on Amazon. They're around 40 or $50. Tried one earlier last week, and it actually seemed to work okay. So that might be something in there. Next, hey from Oceanside, Clam Bay, Nova Scotia. Excellent. So another fellow Canadian. It's 25 degrees pressure washer. Ever unsafe? You seem to use those more than others. Yeah, I like a 25 degree. Some people like a 15. Some people like a 40. The only place that it's not safe is if you get really close to a convertible top or the insulation underneath the hood on a car. Will gold standard remove etched in water spots on chrome strips? It can. Give it a try. Start with water spot remover always to remove the minerals, and then try it, but probably a metal polish will be your best choice there. Mike Coffin, what makes your flag tip brush different? Excellent. So we have a more consistent, deeper flagging. We use a acid dip flagging as opposed to mechanical flagging. And the type of acid that they dip it in actually has a big consequence on how they reacts. A lot of them are using a polypropylene bristle, calling it nylon, but it's polypropylene bristles. Ours are an actual nylon bristle. The other aspect of it is the density. So how closely packed they are together. Our brushes, by the way, people equate them with the Chinese brushes. They are not Chinese. They're actually made in Taiwan. So we have a better quality control. Is the wax available in Canada yet? I have no idea on that one. Sam might actually be able to respond to that one. But if anyone has it, it would be TOC at the moment. Ivan, if you started a side hustle in detailing back to square one and all you have is $10 and a Walmart nearby, what are you walking in and buying to double your money? Oh, excellent question, Jamie. I would start with a car wash soap or get a wash mitt and use your dish soap. Since dish soap gets a bad rap, it's actually not that bad. Good afternoon, Tom here. I don't have a rotary yet, but I have an 8mm and 21mm DA. Which do you recommend for finishing with the red jeweling pad? I would use the 21mm DA. The 8mm, if you're applying app, is great. But if you're finishing with the gold standard polish, go with the 21. X6M Ghost, Ivan, can you give an example of how you would approach potential ceramic coating client? How you'd introduce, sell them a coating? That is the biggest problem. You're trying to sell them a coating. You don't want to sell a coating, you want to counsel a coating. So start by asking the customer what they want. Why are they there and why do they think they need a coating? And then you can approach it from there. They will give you the answers before you ask them a question. Ricky Tat, any timeline on the 2.0 ceramic coatings? We're hoping by the end of April. The Detailers Business Academy has a fantastic video on selling coatings. Yes, thank you. I do. So there's a couple on there, and actually one of the deep dives is on selling ceramic coatings too, here on the House of Rags. Happy birthday, Mike Kaufman. Oh, just saw that go by. I have an older 8mm DA polisher. that okay to apply the app? Yes. So app, red jeweling pad, speed 3 or 4. You want to maintain a bit of pad rotation on that. In the market for a new pressure washer, my Active 2.0 is on the way out. Any recommendations? Uh, Depends. If you're willing to wait a little while, there'll be the Quiver. I know Josh is working really hard to get those up and running, and knowing Josh V, they will be excellent. Other than that, my favorite in terms of a more expensive pressure washer would be the AR series, the AR Blue, AR 675, I think it is. Other than that, I believe Keeve and Josh both reviewed a new Ryobi pressure washer that was like $99 and seemed to have all the good stuff for it. So there's a lot out there. Look at the Josh V channel and also Cars with Keeve. They're both guys that have tested many, many, many pressure washers, and it depends what your needs are. And the idea when the thinner version of Incredible Suds will be available, we're finishing up the R&D on that, so probably July or August. Uh, Washmit and Dawn day one, I like it. Yeah, just if you only have $10, you want a safer wash media. The soap helps, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Ivan K, applying the app. If the polish has a bigger throw, 9mm, use lower speed. Yes, correct. Ivan, could you share what your interior cleaner would be on a heavily sweat-stained upholstered carpet and seats, neglected high school student car, gasoline and a match? No, that wouldn't work too well. I would start with rinseless wash on a wool pad on the rotary and try doing that. Um, for the carpets, you want to dry brush them as much as possible and get as much out of there before introducing any moisture whatsoever. And then rinseless wash is an encapsulating product. So like the end caps and things like that, it actually works in that regard. So that would work very well. If not, then the next step up would be all clean at 30 to 1. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Fernando. Dish soap, wash mitt, and hand. Now you made $20 in one day. What are you adding to double your money for day two? Oh, Jamie with the questions. Well, we need a good drying towel, but the drying towel will not actually double our money, so we're not going to do that. We're going to get a ceramic or a sealant or a wax of some sort so we can offer protection. And when you offer protection, you can charge more. Kevin McGinty. Hi. It disappeared on me. What's the best products to use to clean and polish bare aluminum in specific wheels? What's the best way to protect? So to polish, you need a good aluminum polish. Don't try to do it with a paint polish. It never works out well. You can either polish by hand, you can get the cones depending on the shape of the wheel, etc., etc. Then from there, DIY metal ceramic coating is the best way to slow down the oxidation. You'll never stop the oxidation, but you'll be able to slow it down. And House of Rags, we're all caught up on questions. Wow. Okay. So yeah, please feel free to ask your questions. So to while we're waiting for questions, I'll go on Jamie's question here. So you've made your $20 back. You're doubling your income. You're adding a sealant. The next thing I would add after that is a tire dressing, because a shiny tire is a clean car. You can put tire dressing on a dirty car. It makes it look 10% cleaner, maybe 20%. Keith Ham, is crystal clear more aggressive than rinseless for glass? Yes, it is. It's slightly more aggressive. So if you have a vapors, a smokers, or worse yet, the people with the little vent clips, those vent clips are putting an oil all over you, in your lungs, all over the interior, the glass, etc. So yes, crystal clear is a little more aggressive. David Graham, can you use rinseless for windshield washer fluid? Yes, you can, as long as it does not freeze. Freezing temperatures and windshield washer fluid or rinseless do not go well together. David Boyce, Ivan, do you have any recommendation brand shoes for detailings? Please don't mention those dangerous Crocs. No. So I've heard a lot of people talk about Vessi shoes. I haven't used them myself, but everyone that has them is really enthusiastic about mentioning their shoes. So I would, take a guess that they're pretty good shoes for detailing and apparently extremely waterproof. OS Mobile Detailing. I've only polished a handful of times, and would you recommend it for a polisher? Something user friendly that can do it all. My personal choice is a rotary, a 25 or at minimum a 21 millimeter stroke DA can do the job as well. It depends on what you're wanting to do. If you're wanting to do enhancements, a rotary. If you're wanting to do corrections, get the longer stroke DA. Both will do both jobs. Just one is more efficient than the other for that. What's the shelf life on DIY products? So Mr. Vasquez or Mrs. I don't know. We'll have to find out what the R stands for one day. But the shelf life is minimum of a year, and then well stored, it can go past that. Coatings, though, once opened, you don't really want to go past 2 or 3 months. The House of Rags. Ivan, are the Legacy Sponge and Iconic Sponge the same foam? Yes, they are. The Legacy Sponge obviously has a black side, which is the same foam, just a different color. But it's the best foam we could find. So, Ivan, where were you? Disappeared on me. That's what I did. I asked the customer, why are you here? And why do you think you need a coating? And they replied, I don't know. You tell me. In that case, find out what their vehicle is. Is it a daily driver? If it's a daily driver, it needs the best protection. If it's a garage queen, you can put a sealant on it and call it good, and it'll probably last a couple years. So find out what your customer, what their vehicle's needs are, and how the vehicle is driven and maintained. Ivan, can you explain the difference between uncoated aluminum and coated aluminum, proper chrome, cracked chrome, etc.? So for all metals, use a metal polish. But if it's uncoated aluminum, the way to figure out, put a bit of polish on a towel on an inconspicuous area and try to rub it. If the towel goes black, that means you have uncoated aluminum. If it stays the same color as the polish and the towel, doesn't go black, then you have clear coated or coated aluminum and you're good to go. Chrome, you will get a bit of transfer. Once the chrome is cracked, it's cracked. The only way to fix it is to replace it. Now, there's an old school trick where you use aluminum foil to polish with a bit of vinegar or a bit of polish to polish the chrome. That sort of fills in those cracks, but it's only good for a couple shows. Fernando, is it safe for rinseless and incredible suds to dry up in the paint? Yes, it is. About to start hitting triple digits here in Arizona. Yeah, they're both safe. Especially the incredible suds will rinse away clean. The rinseless wash, you don't need to rinse it away. Just make sure your towel has a bit of dampness or respray just a little bit on the surface. Brython, any tips on doing touch-up paint? Yeah, don't use the touch-up pen that the dealers sell you. You can use the paint in it, but use a toothpick or something like that. You don't want to try to make the touch-up over the surface. You want to try to leave it convex a little bit or concave. If you leave it concave, it disappears from the eye. And don't try to make touch-ups perfect. You'll never get it. You'll just frustrate yourself. HJ Holmes, what are your thoughts on high pH, low pH soaps? Do they actually do what they claim to do? Do they have a place in a detailing arsenal? As far as I'm concerned, they don't. So first of all, if you're starting with a low pH soap, low pH is acidic, and you have traffic film over the vehicle, acids do not deal well with greases. Therefore, you're actually not removing anything from the surface. And the reason we use low pH is to get rid of minerals. Mineral abatement or trying to get rid of minerals should be the last thing you do after your contact wash. For the high pH soaps, same thing. Your contact wash is doing 99% of the work. If you're spending time on buying all these different soaps for that 1%, not really worth it. I've tried some APCs that say dilute 10 to 1 for interior. Still had a chemical burn. Is all clean at 31, guaranteed not to cause a chemical burn. It's not guaranteed not to cause a chemical burn, but there is a very, very low chance of it. And 30 to 1 is the highest I would go in an interior. 60 to 1 works well. And if you're concerned about that, just use a rinseless. You really don't need an APC on an interior, or very rarely. Since you mentioned shelf life, I have a bottle of app that will never get through. Am I looking for more uses for it now? How do you feel app on plastic trim before restore and protect? It's great. And app can also be used to rejuvenate a coating. So if you have a coated vehicle, wash it, decontaminate it, and a quick pass of app will get you that final little glow, that you're looking for. Ivan K, in a few words as possible, how to best sell a coating without being pushy. Do you want to protect your vehicle? Do you want it to last longer? Do you want it to look better? Do you want to make it easier to wash? All questions you ask your customer that they should answer yes to. What is the best product method to clean interior glass? I like a I like to use rinseless wash with a almost dry towel. So wring out your towel as much as you possibly can, and then use that, and then follow with a dry towel as well. One tip: do not look at the glass. When you look at the glass, your eyes are lying to you. Your hands can feel better than your eyes can see. What do you think about the next innovative thing in detailing? Uh, we have a few things coming down the line that I can't disclose at the moment. Not really huge innovations. Well, there's one chemical that will be a big innovation, but other than that, just incremental little things, always getting better. David Graham, what do you think, or what do you say the difference is on the finish using quick beads or ceramic gloss? Not much of a finish. To me, quick beads feels velvety, if I can describe it that way, whereas ceramic gloss is a little slicker. So but the look is roughly the same. Some people seem to think ceramic gloss has a little more gloss. Personally, old eyes, I can't see the difference. Mike Kaufman, what about a high pH and low pH that includes a contact wash? Again, just use incredible suds or rinseless wash to clean the vehicle. The high pH, low pH, a great fad. It was a fad in the 60s, not a fad, but it was a way of doing it in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s. It keeps going away, coming back, going away, coming back, going away, coming back. When people figure out that it's a contact wash doing the job, then they just don't buy those products anymore. And then it disappears into obscurity for a couple of years. Sam here. I find quick beads a tad slicker than ceramic gloss. Okay, very good, Sam. David Boyce, Ivan, what pad do you recommend for scratches on taillights? Also, what compound or polish is recommended? Whatever you're using on the paint. Taillights are very, very soft plastic, so just about anything you use will clean them up. I like to use a rotary just because I can get in and around the taillights, the ones that have a bit of texture, or not texture, but relief to them. Eric Wright, what would you suggest for an SUV that lives outside on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean? Your ceramic coatings or your SiO2 spray wax? Definitely a ceramic coating. Ceramic coating will always do better than a wax or a sealant. It's going to last longer. And then if you're living by the ocean, you have a lot of mineral contamination after you've put the coating on that acts as a base layer. Put on our show-winning wax, and that's going to absorb the minerals and release them, reducing the water spotting and also the mineral contamination. Ivan K., what was the last detailing question you didn't have the answer to? Probably this one. No, if I don't have the answer, I'll find the answer. So, but in a live like this, I haven't been stumped in years. So keep going, people. Invested detailer, would you rather hire an employee with years of experience but very close-minded and not teachable, or an employee with 0 years of experience but open-minded? I rarely ever hired anyone with experience. Keith, ceramic coat wheel faces and barrels or quick beads, ceramic gloss. If the customer is paying you to do the wheels, do the whole wheel. If the customer isn't paying you to do the wheel, or you just sold wheel faces because they have no idea what a wheel barrel is, then just coat the wheel face and go with the quick beads for the rest. Mike G popped in to say hi. Well, hello to you, Mr. G, and hoping you're having a good day. And I like the fact that we're seeing your face on camera more these days. When treating convertible tops with interior ceramic, what temperature should be the coolest? About 50 degrees. And make sure that's very dry before you apply. Jamie Cleaner, we have been grinding for a week now with our basic wash package dish soap, tire shine, and sealant. We are now walking into Harbor Freight with $500. What's the first tool equipment you're going to buy? I'm going to walk out of Harbor Freight and go on the House of Rags website and buy some good stuff instead of the cheap stuff at Harbor Freight. But I'm going to buy a ceramic coating, I'm going to buy a polisher, and I'm going to buy some polish. The mobile detail shop, when treating convertible tops with interior ceramic, what temperature? 50 degrees. David Graham, on a daily driver, would you recommend 3-year or 5-year? I'd recommend either 5-year or 8-year on a daily driver because they're the ones that need the most protection. They're not garage kept. they're not necessarily well taken care of. They might accidentally go through a car wash once in a while. So, for a customer's daily driver, definitely go for the 8 year. David Boyce, customer is complaining of dust mites in her car, possibly fleas. How would you approach this issue? Her little Chihuahua rides in the car regularly. If it's infected with insects, that is not the job of a detailer. Find an exterminator or a after disaster cleanup company. Have them do it. But you may want to reach out to the guys at Biobombs. They might have something for that. And if they're listening, they can add in. Robert Clark, could you put quick beads in a soap dispenser and a pressure washer to apply? You can, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. So I wouldn't do that. You can put in your foam cannon if you have one. Just put a little bit in. You don't need to put a lot. And quickly spray it on the car, then rinse it off. The devil's in the details. Franco, if he's here, he's got a video on that. And so do we. We have a couple. Could you put quick beads? Oh, already did that one. Okay. Would interior ceramic be good use on the PVC roof of RV after cleaning? No. So the EPDM roofs on RVs get the stuff that they sell to clean it and the stuff that they sell to protect it. And as a detailer, have the owner do that. I don't want a detailer falling off the roof. Ivan K. I recently stopped offering multiple different ceramic coatings. All I do is Hydrolite. Excellent. Uh, Customers get confused if you have too many choices. The maximum, number of choices I would go with is 3. Latif, I just did the hourly cost calculation. It looks like I should be charging $224.78 an hour. Did I miss something in my calculation? No. When people do that calculation, that's a common number. So anywhere between 150 and 250 is what people come up with. So now you have to work on increasing your efficiency. Keith Ham, was the most aggressive you would get with a headliner? A microfiber towel, dampened and rinseless, and lightly going over it. Remember, as a detailer, it's not your fault that headliner is dirty. People should not be touching their headliners. People should not be getting them dirty. And explain to the customer that if you use a more aggressive method, that headliner could fall on their head in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, or immediately for that matter. Fernando, is there something that you recommend to reduce dust buildup on a vehicle? Wash it with a rinseless wash. Don't use, you can use ceramic gloss. You can use quick beads. They will help a little bit, but honestly, there's not much you can do. Go for a nice swift drive on the highway. David Boyce, Ivan, is it realistic that a finishing glaze can give similar results to a polishing product? Yes, because it fills. It's not polishing, it's not taking anything away, or it's not correcting anything. It's simply filling. But yes, it is, you get great results with a glaze, just not long lasting. Is water spout remover leaving anything behind? Why does it make the glass panel so hydrophobic? It leaves nothing behind. It leaves it hydrophobic because it's cleaning it. Now you don't have those minerals on the surface that are causing the interaction with water. That is why. It's basically lactic acid and not much else. So, Franco, what's up, detailing nerds? I missed the notification. Franco, if you could post a video where you use quick beads in a foam cannon, that would be great. We had someone asking that question. I recommended you, but now that you're here, please put the link up. Is a smaller drying blanket coming? Yes, several months though, but it is coming. You seem to flip cars often. What's the longevity of the LaCroix Cruiser? So on the LaCroix Cruiser, that we're not going to flip. It takes a lot of work to build one of these buses. We built it ourselves. As for cars, I'm up to about 82 or 83 so far in my time of driving. So yeah, I do change cars a lot. I just get bored with cars. House of Rags, excellent question, everyone. Please feel free to leave any questions you have for Ivan. Yeah, if we don't get to them here, after this podcast, you're watching the replay, put your questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Detailing Made Simple. How are you doing, Sock? The app, what's the recommended shelf life? I accidentally left the top open for a week. It's probably still good. As long as it didn't dry out, you're fine. The shelf life of app is actually very long. And when are you moving, Sock? We're all caught up. Cool. Okay. So excellent. Ask more questions, people. Come on. Uh, let's find out if Sock has moved. Okay, so devil's in the detail. He says if he can find it, but 2 ounces of quick beads and 18 ounces of water in the foam cannon was excellent. Perfect. Thanks a lot, Franco. What's the shelf life of Trim, Restore, and Protect? About a year, year and a half. And it is a product that goes a long way. Just make sure you store it in a nice, cool place. Light doesn't really interfere with it because it's an aluminum bottle. So, detailing made simple. Great to know. I'm moving down June 19th. Oh, excellent. Latif, business question: how do you go about paying employees that incentivizes hard work? A bonus program, make it known that you're wanting to do that. Also, once you get enough work to keep them busy full time, that's when you go to a per job basis or a commission basis. Doing chip repair, paint filling, should you machine polish or simply hand polish the small area around the chip? Depends what the vehicle looks like. For me, when I do touch ups, I do it after I've polished the vehicle. So I'm not trying to get a perfectly flat, filled in touch up. There's no point in doing that. As long as your chip fill is below the surface of the paint, it disappears to the customer's eyes. Keith, what is your favorite part of a detail? Invoicing. No, handing the keys to the customer when they first see the car and the joy on their face. That is the best part of the detail for me. Sock is dialing his garage for your audit. Excellent. Probably in January. I'll be cruising through South Carolina or North Carolina or one of the Carolinas, wherever you're going. I keep forgetting. Brython, sorry. Was there any car from a customer that surprised you in your shop? Um, yeah, there was a Volkswagen Beetle that the customer paid us about $15,000 to wet sand and polish. Uh, to me, that was like way over the top. But anyways, it was a family heirloom. He wanted it done. Any advice on the pre-inspection procedure with the customer, aka walk around? Yes, do not point out defects. Ask them to point out what's bothering them, but don't go at it with an inspection light and show them every little defect that they've never seen before. Slick auto styling. Is there a reason the red drilling pad doesn't have a beveled edge? That's the old version. The new version does have a beveled edge. What tools would you want to have in a detail cart without a budget? So, detail cart, you want a pad washer, you want towels, you want your chemicals, and you want your polishers. And you don't want to overload it as well. What is your favorite BioFresh air freshener scent? Bio Bombs, probably. I'm not a scent person in vehicles, so my favorite scent is none. Uh, any chance you are impressed with the fluorine based wax product? No, and fluorination is something that the industry is quickly, thankfully, going away from. It's called forever chemicals. We don't want those. Are we caught up again? Oh, Adamos. Ivan, would you treat the procedure to coat wheels exactly as you would for paint? Or would you do something different? No, it's the same thing. You're coating clear coat, just like you are on the car. So it's exactly the same thing. And where coatings fail on wheels is because they get covered in minerals, A, and B, people use way too harsh chemicals and some brushes to clean them, and some of those brushes scratch the paint. Again, I'll refer you to Will's Ride Care. He did a really interesting video this week about testing different brushes. We're caught up again. Good. Chris just finished doing a C6 ceramic coat on a Jeep for a customer and it looks wet, wet, wet. Yes, definitely. And if it were here, it actually would be wet because it's raining. I don't know if you guys can hear the rain in the background, but that being said, yeah. And, 1 hour after it's applied, you actually can get it wet. Humberto, bio bombs, hopefully a green apple scent. Even that I wouldn't use in my vehicle. So It is my favorite detailing scent, but it's not one that I would put inside a vehicle. Latif, when is your episode? When is our episode airing? Probably a couple months, Latif. And if the setup was good enough for that, yeah. So on the so alternately between the deep dive and every other week we do a garage audit, and the garage audit is not just for garages; it's for mobile detailers. Latif has an extremely basic but functional setup, and that's what's important. So we're not just showcasing, the Taj Mahals of detailing. We're going with real people that have a passion for detailing, and you'll see that shine through with all of these shows. Would you guys be bringing out a type of spray coating or hand applied like you guys done for the C6 Industrial? Not for we have an agricultural coating coming for DIY, but we don't have a spray on coating because that requires roughly about $10,000 worth of personal protection equipment before you even do one. It was excellent. So, those of you wondering what it is, it's an apricot paste mixed with olive oil, and it's a common treat for Syrians. So, thank you. It was great. When is the cordless polisher coming out again? Probably 8 to 10 weeks. They're being made as we speak. Update for cord and cord free polishers return to stock. Corded polishers are about 4 weeks away, and then the cord free polishers, again, 8 to 10 weeks, somewhere in there. Can I put a spray trigger on other type of thinner polishes? You can. It's not going to work as well. So our polish is designed to be used in that small quantity. So 1.1 milliliters on a pad. Whereas the polishes that are designed to use 3 or 4 or 5 drops on the pad, they're going for between 5 and 8 milliliters on the pad. So unfortunately, no. Coming up with a spray sealant, can coat phobic and mortal style. Yes, it's in the works. We have a 1 year coating / sealant on the way. When fielding phone calls for detail service, what are your questions that should be asked to be able to provide more accurate quote? Why do you want a detail? And have them text you some pictures. If they're calling you on a cell phone, they surely can take a picture or a little video of their vehicle. But you're asking questions. What do they want? Why are they wanting a detail, etc., etc.? How often do you decontaminate a coated car? When necessary. Depends on how it's driven, where it's parked, etc., etc. My own personal car, we pull behind a bus. It gets very contaminated very quickly, and I do it every 3 months. Would you use the DA to cut the entire car, then finish with the red jeweling pad, or one panel at a time? I like to do the whole vehicle because we don't wipe off the polish in between. Are you coming out with a new ceramic coating? Yeah, we have. So the 3 year, the 5 year, and the 8 year are being revamped. Hopefully by the end of this month, the new versions will be out, and then we have a 1 year coating / sealant coming as well. I left ceramic gloss freeze over the winter in our van. Is it safe to assume it's gone bad? Try mixing it up. If it comes back, you'll be fine. If not, give it a try on a scrap panel or the panel of your own vehicle. See how it works. But it may or may not, depending how many times it went through freeze thaw cycles. All our chemicals can be frozen once or twice. It's when it's 50, 60 times that you get into a problem. What about drying towels? Drying towels, I like a small towel myself. So the Diva rinseless towels are actually very nice for me. We also have a 3 pack of small towels that I adore, and we're working on some new towels as well. So we'll have those coming back, and we'll have the drying blanket coming back probably in 6 to 8 weeks, somewhere around there. Will the cordless polishers be going up due to the tariffs? If so, how much? I can't answer that question. No one knows what's happening with the tariffs. So until we're actually invoiced and they're here, that's the only time we'll figure it out. Is there a possibility you give Mirka a run for the money by creating your own 3-inch quiet polisher? We are working on a 3-inch polisher. Probably won't be as quiet as the Mirka, but it definitely will not be as expensive. And if you've noticed in our videos, you've never seen me reach for a 3-inch polisher. A 6-inch pad on a rotary does wonders. Shine your light, Tim. what are the difference between the new style 3-5 year ceramic coating? So we got rid of fluorination or the forever chemicals, the PFASs, and a little easier to apply. Plus, they're an instant bond coating, which means you could apply with one hand, wipe them off with the other, not wait for the flash, and they'll still do their job. Do you recommend balancing a garage that you detail in still has to function as a garage? I know some of your videos you talk about benches and vertical surfaces not being good. Yeah, definitely. Uh, so for that, I like to have all the detailing supplies on one side of the garage, all the household supplies on the other, especially if you're getting customers coming in. That way, if it's mixed up between the two, they get mixed up. If it's all household stuff on one side, they tend to ignore it and don't they don't think about it as much. So, and yes, no horizontal surfaces other than the floor, unless household, you'll need some form of a workbench, but don't worry about it. T-Bone Todd applied the plastic restore and protect to new trim. When do you reapply, and when do I have to polish just to clean with, or just clean with all clean? You'll need to reapply when the trim is faded. There's no need to reapply after that. If you want to, put a coat on yearly, that's fine, but it's not really necessary. And you polish when you have oxidation. So if you start seeing oxidation, that's when you polish. Polishing is a better prep step than all clean any day of the week. Ivan K is Hydrolite C6 Pro coatings losing the forever chemicals? They've never had them. So the C6 coatings are not fluorinated. I'm saving up to get a DIY DA, but in the meantime, I only have the DA with 8mm throw. I've heard people say it takes longer to cut. Does that simply mean a lot more passes? Yeah. It just means it takes you a lot more time. But other than that, you're going to get the job done. It's just you're going to get it done a little slower. Does show winning wax reduce the water beading effect of C6 ceramic coating? Yes. And how well does it fill in paint imperfections? It's not going to fill in a scratch. It's going to reduce a little micro marring on the surface or light swirls from improper wash technique. We ran our paint enhancement service hard in our Harbor Freight polisher and saved $5,000. What's the next step to advance our business? Pressure washer services, mobile setup, employees, and get a shop. Uh, so mobile, a lot of people don't realize this, but your overhead on mobile is much, much higher than a shop because your overhead is calculated in losses. It is not calculated in what your monthly rent, etc. would be. Slow Pronto. What's the difference between 3-5 year coating in terms of gloss and slickness? 5 year has a little more, or 3 year has a little more slickness because of the graphene content. 5 year definitely the glossiest of the two. Any advice for Eddie on white Toyota bumpers? Well, yeah. So a lot of them are single stage. So take your time. Don't burn through don't overheat them because if you do, you'll have a problem, especially if they're plastic bumpers. Ron, will someone put Mother Nature back on her meds? Yeah, same here. We had snow to rain last night, and I had to put the shovel out to move slush out of the driveway. Definitely Ron. Ron's in Massachusetts, if I remember correctly. Here in Quebec, it's raining today. It's just slightly above freezing, and we're expecting snow on Wednesday. So, not fun. It's supposed to be spring, people. Do I have a particular power bank source as an alternative to using a generator? Noisy for detailers. Yeah. So been consulting with Tony Ralda to work on a mobile setup that is battery operated and solar. And he's got all that information. So reach out to Tony if you're wanting to do that. But definitely, it's easy to do. Your investment up front will be between $3,000 and $5,000, depending on how crazy you want to go. But after that, it pays back itself dramatically. When recoating glass with C6 Hydro Glass, can it be layered? So between 1 and 8 hours, you can layer it. After that, just give it a light polish and put on a second coat. You can open a shop with 5,000. Oh, definitely. You need first and last month's rent normally, and all the stuff you had in your mobile setup comes into the shop. Then you have to clean, maybe paint. Definitely, it can be done. Pad washer update. Still in the courts. I coated a 5 liter Mustang probably with DIY 5 year, and then it drizzled 30 minutes after. Is that okay? Definitely not a concern. Happy birthday to Mike Kaufman. Yes, definitely. We're all caught up again. Excellent. So, oh, actually, Remedy Auto Detail, Gary, he opened up a shop for $2,800. I see down a little lower. So definitely it can be done. A shop, like I say, it doesn't have to be a palace. It has to be clean, has to be able to do the job. So you don't need all the fancy stuff day one. For the show winning wax, which is the preferred method of applying, hand or machine? Is this wax safe on plastics or do they need to be masked off? So I prefer a machine because I can apply it much thinner than I can by hand. And yes, it is safe on plastics as long as they're not oxidized. The wax will mix with the oxidation, and when it does that, it becomes a little more difficult to remove. Coated at 5. Oh, yeah, we got that. We got slow pronto already on that one. The 5.0 looked amazing with the gloss. Looked great. Excellent. What would your process be on polishing chrome or stainless steel? Get a metal polish, and I like to use a DA actually with a microfiber pad. If you have a nice big area to do, I find that is what works best. And that's about my only use for a microfiber pad in detailing is cleaning leather seats and polishing metal. Ron, I'd love to come to New England and do a garage audit as well. Right now, there's a bit of concern crossing the border in terms of with the bus. Crossing by airplane, not a problem. The land crossings are a little difficult. We actually crossed this week from Buffalo, New York, or Niagara Falls, New York to Niagara Falls, Canada. Normally, that's an extremely busy border. We were the only ones going both ways. So there's a lot happening at the borders right now. Chris, I really appreciate your tutorial videos. Has helped me a lot. Excellent. If I want to keep some rinseless wash in a 32-ounce sprayer, is one capful okay? Distilled water, one capful is way too much. So you want a quarter capful, or at most a half. Smash the like button. Yes, thanks, Jamie. And don't forget, House of Rags, there is a coupon code available for those watching the deep dive. It's Deep Dive 10. So if you'd like to support the deep dive, there's no commission going to me, but there is a 10% off for you guys. Do DIY coatings fill swirls to a degree? Yes and no. When using the C6 adhesion promoter polish, so the C6 app, it swells the paint a little, and when you put the coating on, it locks it in that swollen state. That is when you can get some sort of filling effect. But the coating by itself, no. Coatings are so thin. Steve Pearson, Turbo 6 Detail, he did a video a couple weeks ago explaining just how thin coatings are. It's well worth the watch. If someone could put a link up to it, that would be great. Or to his channel. He doesn't have enough subscribers yet. He needs more subscribers. Be in Chicago anytime soon, probably July or August. And if you're on the DIY Detail Facebook group and also the House of Rags, whenever I'm back on the road and doing garage audits, we'll be announcing it. Ivan, refresh our memory. Did you use all clean only to clean a convertible top, then rinse until no longer seeing suds? Yeah, so start with rinseless wash or incredible suds. You generally don't need to go all the way to all clean. But yeah, you keep rinsing and brushing until you have no sudsing effect left. If you were mobile and charged just for an enhancement, how would you do it? Well, I'd charge at least $300 and polish, wipe off, and apply the ceramic gloss panel by panel. So, 67 years old, didn't know anything about ceramic or proper wash methods. After seeing your vids, I did my 5th car this year. Excellent. And you're 67 years young, not old. Come on. I'm getting there soon. So I like to think when I was a kid, 67 seemed really old. Now that I'm getting close to it, it's not that old at all. Evil Code Monkey. Freddie, take the gallon of distilled water from your grocery store, add half an ounce less, put in a 32-ounce bottle, profit. Excellent. Yeah, definitely good tip there. I put rinseless wash in 1 gallon containers for use in my pump sprayers. Exactly, Ron. We ran our shop hard. 2 employees, fully insured. What's the next service to add to your paint correction coating services? Window tint, PPF, dry ice. Definitely window tint. PPF is a big investment and requires a big investment in human resources. Dry ice, I don't really see a big use for it. So definitely window tint would be the next. We did windshield repair, windshield replacement, interior cleaning, or sorry, interior repair as well, and paint touch up. Those were all very profitable services, as well as truck bedliners. We're all caught up. And Jamie, to ask your question, by the time I sold my shops, we were doing about 20 million a year with those services, and we had no PPF. So PPF was something that we farmed out. So we farmed out PPF and PDR. Everything else we did in house. Uh, in 10 years, Ivan, I will be there. Yeah. So Humberto and I are basically the same age. Is leather repair a viable service to add? Yes. Leather repair we did in house. Not a service you use every day, but when you use it, you can charge for it, and the customers are happy. And there's not too many subs running around doing that. What's best to remove light, slight oxidation from plastic trim? Uh, gold standard polish and the yellow pad on a DA. Best product to make headlights look like new. Uh, Sand them, polish them, coat them, and then put PPF on top. Coating does a good job. PPF does a better job. Combine the two, even better. What's an often overlooked or rare add-on service that can be offered in detailing? Uh, the interior repair is one. Windshield repair is one that I don't see a lot of people doing, or spot or stone chip repair. The What's the other? We did a lot of stone chip repair on paint. We did a lot of windshields as well. That's actually how our business started, was doing mobile windshield repair. What can I use? Rubber floor mats. I don't like the slippery feel. Something matte. Our DIY detailed tire dressing actually does a great job on mats. Put it in with the flag tip nylon brush, the same one that you use for applying the tire dressing on wheels, and then hit it with a towel if you want it a little more matte. If rinseless or interior clean protect doesn't clean sticky door panels where the armrest, would you risk all clean or consider it worn beyond repair? I would do a small spot with all clean, check it out. But generally, when they get to that point, they are beyond repair. Remember, we're cleaning, we're not restoring. What's your deeper cleaning process for leather seats and then protecting them? The deep cleaning process is a microfiber pad on a long stroke DA and lightly go over it. From there, as far as protecting goes, the interiors, DIY detail interior ceramic for sure. Isn't stone chip repair a little risky liability? No, not at all. Not when you do it well. So I designed my own system for doing it. Roy, is the same concept of no heat application to polishing headlights during restoration? Definitely. Yeah, you don't want to heat. They will craze and crack very quickly. What's your process on the undercarriage? Actually, watch our latest video. We watched a little side by side and did the undercarriage there. But yeah, foam on some soap, foam on, or then rinse it, and then quick beads on the undercarriage. But ideally, if you're in a rust belt area, get some true rust protection, rust coating. Glasswell has excellent system and training in place if you want to do scratch repair, etc. They also have headlight restoration kits. Yeah, Robert, they're okay. Actually, Glass Mechanics does a better job on the windshield repair portion of it. And as far as their glass polishing, having used their system and then made up my own because theirs was so inefficient, they're great at selling you things. They're not really good at following through on it. What should be used for rubbers on door jambs to keep them supple so they don't crack? Back in the 80s, when I was driving a T-top Camaro, yes, That's why this no hair anymore. But anyways, General Motors used to sell a silicone-based grease for that. You can use actually dielectric grease, which is basically the same thing. So a dielectric grease that you can get in any electrical supply place, uh, put it on real thin, and it's great at keeping those seals nice and lubricated. Are gallons of interior ceramic coming? Probably not. Oh, underbody wash and seal. Yeah, definitely. It's a service you can offer. Now, it's not a sealant in the sense that it's not going to seal out any rust. If you have a hot car in the sun but caked on dirt, do you perform pre-foam or rinse to cool the panels? I like to use a light mist. So I'm not trying to drive the mud off the surface. I'm just trying to get it damp and wet. Would you would you use your yellow pad or red pad for glass? Really doesn't matter. So when we're polishing glass, it's just to deep clean it. So either pad will do the job, whichever one's on your machine. M3 finish detailing. What a great marketing company you guys use for the detailing business. Marketing company. Okay. So in my days, marketing was, handshakes. Uh, not today. Detailer's roadmap is excellent. Your label is good, not for marketing, but to get your business up to another level. So Detailer's roadmap, great. And if you can find someone local that does a good job with references, not just their own references, but actually get references from other people and talk to them and see how the investment is, etc., that'll give you a good idea on that. One of the best decisions I made, bought a gallon of Incredible Suds. I don't use it too much. Soap in a bucket or foam can. Yeah. Use like one cap full in a 4-gallon bucket. And in the foam cannon, 1 ounce is all you need. Will C6 Hydro and Diamond come in 50 milliliter bottles for coating larger vehicles? No. One bottle already does 2 vehicles. So a 50 milliliter bottle would, do 3.5, 4, maybe 5 vehicles. And we don't want you having an open bottle for that long. Thank you for everything, Ivan. By the way, Ivan is DIYdetailing.eu. He's one of our distributors in Europe, and he'll probably be the first to have the cord-free polishers in the EU. So you can put a link to your web store there if you can, Ivan. That would be great. 404 not found. Hello. Thanks everyone for joining us. Oh, we're already there. Wow, that went by fast. Yeah. So any last minute questions? If not, we'll bid you farewell. If you watched this whole thing, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. And if you're watching this on the replay, by all means, please put your questions down below. I'm happy to answer them. After running our highly rated detail business now for many years, but my back hurts and I want to go to the beach sometime in the future, do I look to franchise or sell the business? Franchising, if you like babysitting, franchising is great. It's not as lucrative as people think it is, especially in our space. You need to, we had 26 franchises. That wasn't enough for it to be lucrative. You need to get into the hundreds of franchises to make it worthwhile. What's a detailing product brand that you feel has unwarranted bad reputation? Ooh, Turtle Wax. Good people, good company, good products. Smash the thumbs up, people. Yes, thank you. And thanks everyone for joining us. As always, lots of fun. Love your questions. And, again, any one of these videos, if you see me in a video, it doesn't even have to be related to the video. Just ask a question. I answer them. I do about 5,000 comments a month right now. So just your average Nelson. Yes, I really appreciate the interaction Thor Media brings. Definitely. Thor Media has really, in the short amount of time Thor's been around, has really changed the way detailing is perceived within the industry. And, that's a very abrupt, very positive change for our industry. So, yes, there's a lot of other podcasters. There's at least one podcast per day. There's some days that are two, and you can listen to all of them. You can have fun with them. There's a lot of good people doing podcasts here, so lots of fun. Yeah. And then I saw a Junior going by there. Um, where'd he go? But anyways, so Junior is one of our last round of the DIY tuber program. The winner will be announced tomorrow. So stay tuned. And with that, I'll bring Sam back in just so he can bid everyone. Oh, where do we go? How do I bring you back in, Sam? Oh, there he is. So let's bring Sam in here. So Sam, thanks a lot for your help. Uh, your for media with Sam today. Sam is one of our excellent customer service DIY detail. Always looking up, always help other people. Sam is one of the most kind and helpful people I have ever met. So for a customer service representative, that's excellent. So thanks a lot, Sam, and we'll see everyone in the next live. But in the meantime, next week will be a garage audit, and probably from Oklahoma, if memory serves. So
Ooh.
see you then. Enjoy, everyone.